Good afternoon, everyone. Maria Diaz, how fun to see you here, my love. You and your orgasmic life. I love the name of that program. Rhonda. Hi, Quintana. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Linda. Hi, Terry. Hi, John Rogers. It's a pleasure to see you here, love. Oh, Maria, you are so cute. Hi, honey. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Connie. Welcome, everyone. And welcome to an afternoon of clearing the clairs. This is one of my favorite things to do with people. And what we're going to do, so I'm going to need everybody to have a piece of paper and a pen because we're going to go about measuring your clairs. And the clairs that we're going to be addressing are clairsentience, and that's your ability to feel spirit beyond the physical presence of a body being there. Like you get goosebumps or you feel a change in the room. Then there's clairaudience, which is where spirit starts to speak to you beyond the physical ears. There's clairvoyance, where you start to see images from spirit beyond the physical eyes. And then there is claircognizance. And claircognizance is when there's a download of information that just comes in from spirit. So let me tell you this wonderful little journey that we're about to embark upon. So each of us, when we come to Earth, are given like a little, a little spiritual lunchbox from God, if you will. And with this lunchbox, we're given these extrasensory psychic abilities, also known as the clairs. Clair means clear in French. And it gives us the ability to be able to communicate and relate to the aspect of our beingness that is our soul, and also the souls of others that are not necessarily physical, corporeally here on Earth. So this would be your psychics and your mediums. Your psychics are able to step into the Akashic records and see what it is that's, on the slate for you, what it is your soul has signed up for. They also, people who know how to read the Akashic records and have these clairs open, are able to help you go into the past, go into the future, see why you have the life that you have, the things that you love, the things that you fear, the things that you hate, the relationships that you do, all that's available. And I teach this class called Clearing the Clairs, which is part of a bigger program that I teach that's called, what do I call it now? Transformational Alchemy Healing. We teach 10 incredible psychic healing tools and techniques, and Clearing the Clairs is one of them. So you're all going to have a chance to go in and measure where you are on a scale of 1 to 100 with each of these clairs. And some of them may be 100, which means they're bigger, and some of them may be 0 or some number in between. I've got people that have huge numbers now because they've been doing the work of opening these up. So when you want to open up your claircognizance, you're going to deal with your chakras, the crown chakra, okay? If you have a blockage where you're not just receiving downloads of information from spirit, it means somewhere you've closed your crown chakra. Now, physically, the default for the crown chakra is for it to be closed, but every once in a while we can open it and allow wisdom to come in. How many people feel that they have a relationship with spirit such that they're able to receive downloads of information from spirit? Please raise your hand. Okay, Linda, Rhonda, John, Maria, Alicia, Veronica. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Hume. Welcome, lovey. Okay, so that means that your crown chakra is open. And listen, the truth is you can open it even more, okay? How many of you believe that you have clairvoyance? Clairvoyance means that spirit sends you messages visually. How many of you can see images from spirit that are not necessarily there with your physical eyes? Rhonda? Okay. Anybody else? Alicia, Veronica? Gorgeous. So here's what happened to me. True story. It's 2009, and I go traipsing off to Israel with my Kabbalah group. It's my 2 Kabbalah teachers and 20 of us. So there's 22 of us that go on this journey. And the very first day in 113-degree weather, where women have to be covered completely in clothing, and I'm 50 pounds heavier than I am now, and I'm sweating like a pig. And we're walking through a graveyard, and you can't step on the graves, and you can't look men in the eyes. And like, there's all these rules that, the Kabbalah community that has, which comes from the Essene community, about what you can and can't do in a graveyard. So I have one of my teachers, his name is Shalom, and he's reading this book next to this very large blue gravestone. It's kind of like, literally like this color blue. And they call these gravestones that are painted this color the Sadiqim. So they're the holy leaders of the Kabbalah lineage, and there's 36 of them that are alive at any one time. So he's reading from this little book about the guy in the grave. And I'm watching all my friends touch the grave, and I have no idea why anybody's touching the grave. You know, I was raised as a Christian. I didn't even realize I had Jewish heritage at the time, but I'm watching all my friends put their hands on the grave. So I'm the last one to waddle my little round, fat body over to the gravestone. And most of the people, you know, are there. I lean over and I put my hands on this grave. And I kid you not, this golden shaft of light opens up, comes down over me, over my head, and I go into a trance. And the guy in the grave starts talking to me. And I'm thinking, I've never had acid. This isn't a drug, like flashback, like what's going on? And he starts talking to me. And I hear him in my head. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if I told anyone what's going on, like they'll lock me up. This was 2009. I'm freaking out. So he says, the guy from the grave says to me, "Welcome home, beloved. Your father is waiting for you." And I'm thinking, my father's in Hawaii. What's she talking? Like, what are they? Who is this? And so telepathically, I say, my father. And the being says, Abraham. And I think, Abraham? And he goes, you know him as Avram. So ever since I was a young girl, when I started meditating at the age of 11, I would go into a meditation and there was a being, and he looked like the actor David Strathairn to me, salt and pepper hair with a beard, tall, thin guy. And he introduced himself to me as Avram. And I said, Abraham. And he goes, you know him as Avram. And all of a sudden there's a picture of Avram, who the being in the grave is telling me is Abraham the patriarch. Now, after we're at the Mount of Olives, where all this is happening, which is the cemetery that's across from the city of David, we go into the city of David. And then from the city of David, we get on a bus, a bulletproof bus with 5 like military. Listen, there's one airline that has never had a hijacking. Do you know what airline that is? El Al. Because I don't know who you are, but who works for El Al security is everybody that has been through all the military training in Israel, because everybody goes through the military training. So these are badass MFers. Okay, so you get the idea of who these guys are. So I lay my hands on this grave. I'm having this crazy experience. And all of a sudden, what happens to me is I burst into tears because I see my 2 Kabbalah teachers, a man by the name of David Guillaume, who's standing next to Shalom. And I see them in front of this huge white throne, and Jesus is sitting on the throne. And on one side of him, there are all the Kabbalistic Sadiqim. And on the other side are like 12 angels, 12 or 14 angels. And I hear the word decree. And all I know is that there's a decree that my 2 Kabbalah teachers have come to earth to bring the wisdom of Kabbalah and of the angels and of Yeshua to earth. So my Kabbalah teacher, he looks at me and he goes, "Why are you crying?" That's all he ever says. "Why are you crying? Like, what now?" And I'm like, "I had this vision of you and David." And he's like, "Go talk to David." So I go down and talk to David, and David said, "Look, I want you to go and talk to Peggy. There's a woman named Peggy Ramito. She's a very famous psychic and medium." And Peggy goes, "I had the same vision you did of David." She goes, I mean, it was like one of these, you can't make this shit up kind of moments. So as we're getting back on the bus and we're getting ready to head into the city of David, I say to Shalom, whose gravestone was that I touched? And he puts his head down and he goes, "The Rabbi Shalom Sharabi." And I said, "Hold on a second. Your name is Shalom Sharabi?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Is he a relative of yours?" And he goes, "Yeah, about 5." Thank you. Veronica's commenting on my outfit. Thank you. About 5 generations ago, the Rabbi Shalom Sharabi was known as the Rashash. And the top of his gravestone, it's carved in Hebrew Aramaic letters, and it says, "Who comes to me pure of heart, I will speak with thee." And then that was the experience that I had of him coming and speaking with me. So that's clear. That's when all my psychic abilities open up. That's an experience of claircognizance. Now, that's an extreme experience of claircognizance. And I'm not saying that's going to happen for each of you, but that was my experience. So several months later, I'm with my best friend, Veronica. And I go, "Veronica, we're in her house alone." I go, "Veronica, there's a man here that wants to talk to you." And it turned out it was the spirit of a guy named Steve, the doctor who she used to work with, who had died when his son was going underneath the water and the undertow was pulling him under. He saved his son, but his life was taken. So Steve was here to talk to Veronica. She's like, I didn't know you talked to the dead. I said, neither did I. And she's like, when did this start? And I'm like, I think it started in Israel. So you'll have these moments where you'll be activated. You'll have a clair that's closed down, but claircognizance comes from the crown chakra. My crown chakra was blown wide open. Does that make sense? Now, clairvoyance comes from the ajna chakra. So clairvoyance, so I come back to New York and I say to my sister, oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened. I talked to this dead guy, you know, when I put my hands on this grave in Israel. And I said, and then I had this experience with Veronica where I was talking to dead people. So my sister Pam tells her best friend, and her best friend goes, Jill, she goes, listen, my dad died recently. Can you talk to my dad for me? And I'm like, I'll try. And her dad shows up and he's like, tell your mom I love her and tell her not to be sad. And then the father starts showing me images of giraffes, like all these different giraffes, glass giraffes, wooden giraffes, statues of giraffes, all these different giraffes. And I go, Jill, your dad's showing me like all these giraffes. Jill goes, giraffes? There aren't any giraffes. I'm like, all right, well, your father loves you. So she goes back to my sister and she goes, your sister's shit. She's talking about giraffes. So my sister calls me and she goes, I guess you need to practice a little more because Jill says there's no giraffes. Later that day, Jill calls her mom and goes, I was talking to Pam's sister Lynn, who said, she's now can talk to the dead. And I asked her to talk to dad. And she said there were all these pictures of giraffes. And her mother goes, yeah, your father and I have a huge collection of about 50 giraffes. Jill goes, what? Where are they? She goes, they're in the little curio cabinet. She's like, I've never seen them. And she said, I know, it was something private between me and your dad. So Jill calls my sister back and she goes, your sister may be onto something. So I was like, here's evidence. So they may show you images of things like the giraffes. Clairaudience is when they talk to you. And that ability comes through the forehead chakra. Now you're going to say forehead chakra. I thought that was the ajna. No, ajna is for the eyes. Forehead chakra is a hidden chakra that's smack dab in the middle of your head. Now, for those of you who have studied pranic healing, Master Choa, who created pranic healing, who developed pranic healing, had studied the Kabbalistic tree of life. So believe me, I was thrilled when I heard that, there was a healing art that was, using Kabbalah. So it goes Keter, Chokmah, Bina. And then Hesed, before Hesed, there's Da'at. And it has to do with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, holy be thy name. Anyway, it goes on like that because they use 11 chakras. So there's psychic abilities connected to all this. Clairalience is the ability to smell from spirit. Clairgusto is the ability to taste from spirit. And for those of us that were at this retreat, we were looking at some darkness that we had, and they asked us to take a piece of it and to smell it and to taste it. And I was like, oh, I guess my clairs are really clear in those areas. So we're going to measure claircognizance. Oh, and then there's clairsentience. Clairsentience is the heart. So if your heart's closed down, you can't necessarily feel the presence of spirit, where it may feel like, you're getting the goosebumps, or it feels tingly, or it feels a little warm, or it feels really cold when they show up. So today we're going to be measuring claircognizance, clairaudience, clairvoyance, and clairsentience. So I want you on your piece of paper to write CC, claircognizance. That's through the crown chakra. That's the knowing that comes when spirit does a download. Okay. Then I want you to write clairaudience, CA, and that's through your forehead chakra. And that's when spirit speaks to you and tells you things. Clairvoyance, CV, and that's your third eye, that's your ajna. Actually, the third eye is the forehead, but the ajna is it's the one chakra that manages all the other chakras. And then I want you to put claircognizance, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, CS, for the heart. And that's your ability to feel the presence of spirit beyond someone physically being here. They may buzz, I call it buzz the tower. They may come by and like flip your hair, or you may feel a tap on your body. Anybody have that? Like where you have psychic phenomena happening? All right, good. Good, good, good. All right. Um, okay. Hi, Kia. Welcome. Okay. So I want you all to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to just allow yourself to get present to where you are in time and space, wherever it is that you're sitting, wherever it is that you're standing. Just allow yourself to be present to your soul inside of a body. You are not the body, you are the soul. Allow yourself to take a breath in, and on your exhale, feel the temperature of the room. Notice any sounds, any smells, any tastes that you have. Whenever my stepfather comes by, it always smells like cigarettes because he loved to smoke. He died in his 70s, but he looks like he's 28 and he's smoking. Uh, when my grandmother comes, it smells like rose because that was her favorite smell. So take a beautiful inhale in, and on your exhale, I want you to just completely relax and kind of let your attention drift down towards the heart, your beautiful, soft, tender, loving, and gorgeous hearts. Okay. You can take another inhale in and you can go ahead and open your eyes. So I'm going to ask you the following question. On a scale of 0 to 100, at what level is your, and then we're going to go through each of the letters that you wrote down, okay? Don't second guess this. This is not the Monty Python skit where you're like, red, no, blue, green. You know, take whatever number comes to you. Just trust it. Your soul is communicating with you. Your higher self is giving you these numbers. Please don't change them. I can always tell. Someone, like, they look and they pause and they take just a few seconds too long, and I'm like, you're rethinking your numbers, and they're like, how do you know? It's not just because I'm psychic as all get out. Well, yes, it is. Okay, so okay, I want you to feel into the truth, and if it's at a 0, it's fine, and if it's at 100, it just means it's higher. But just allow yourself to write whatever number. I want everybody to raise their right hand and promise me, I promise to write whatever number comes to me. Okay, beautiful. Okay, good. Here we go. On a scale of 0 to 100, at what level is your clairsentience, your ability to communicate to spirit through your heart? Just write that number down. Gorgeous. Thank you. On a scale of 0 to 100, at what level is your clairvoyance, your ability to see images from spirit beyond your physical eyes? Okay, gorgeous. Write that number down. On a scale of 0 to 100, at what level is your clairaudience, your ability to hear messages from spirit beyond your physical ears? And sometimes it sounds like there's somebody in the room, but other times it's just them, you know? Okay, good. And then on a scale of 0 to 100, at what level is your claircognizance? Now, for those of you who've been working with me for a while, your numbers are obviously going to be much higher than 100. So just write those down. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Now, I have a lovely, young, brilliant woman named Alicia Moonian, and Alicia has worked with me since 2018. She is my spiritual daughter. She is probably the closest in DNA to me, other than my immediate family, because both of our parents come from Guyana, her dad, my dad. We discovered that the very first day we met. Alicia is all of 4'10" because if she were any taller, we would be blinded by the light, the bright light that this woman is. She's extraordinary. And Alicia is my favorite phrase for this. And if you're offended, too bad. It's called psychic as fuck. Like, she's just extraordinary. That's just how she is. She's amazing. That's who she is. Okay. I use scatological language. I love Jesus. I channel Jesus and I say the word fuck. That's just how God made me. And every once in a while, they're like, we think you should stop cursing. And I'm like, I know that day will come. Not today, but it'll come. It'll come. All right. So Alicia is now going to, okay, so here's the next thing. If you are willing to come on camera with me, on camera with your voice, and have me work with you to raise your clairs, please drop yes in the chat. And
I already
then,
know who it is. Spirit already chose them.
all right, all right, all right, but just like let this play
I
out.
know.
She's far too psychic for all of us. I'm telling you, if she were any taller, we would be blinded by her light. Like she's just the cutest little button in the world. I adore her. We travel around the world. We do retreats together. She calls me and she goes, I just put together a retreat for us to go to Egypt. And I'm like, I guess we're going to Egypt. And then all of a sudden, like 5 people sign up in one day, right? And she's like, oh, I
Yes.
just did this retreat and we're going to Mount Shasta. We're going to Virginia Beach. We're going to where else have we been? Oh, we're going to Sedona. We just had 20 people in Sedona at this gorgeous
Yes.
retreat. And she
And
travels
then
all
we
over the
got to
world.
see UFOs actually with our military
We
grade
did.
night vision goggles.
Listen, I was an absolute asshole about aliens. I was like, they're aliens. They're not real. There's no such thing as alien. So what if I channel 30 ascended masters? There's no such thing as aliens. I now refer them to as galactic masters. Thank you very much. I looked through these night vision goggles and I saw over 100 freaking spaceships with these military grade 4,000, magnification. And I'm like, oh my God, there's aliens.
Yes, with all of our programs, it's about making experiences, you know? And especially with the community that we call in, they even said, like, the people who were hosting the tour, they were like, this is some of the most that we've ever seen in
Right. There
activity.
were like
Like,
a
you guys
hundred.
must be a high vibrational
Yeah,
group.
there was a girl who was counting, one of my dear girlfriends who lives in the Netherlands, and she's like a bean counter. So she's like, we're at 37, we're at 54, we're at 79. At 100, she stopped counting, and now I started counting because I'm like, are you kidding me? And there were over 150 that night. It was one of the most
Yes.
extraordinary experiences of my life. Dead night, black sky in Sedona. Sky was completely clear. And there was a laser pointer, and you could point to things. And at first, I'm like, I'm not interested in the laser pointer. And then I'm like, give me the laser pointer. And I'm like, look, 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 look. It was one of the best nights of my life, truly. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah, and
Alicia.
our next retreat, by the way, just because I wanted to really quickly mention that, is going to be in Virginia Beach at the Edgar
Mm,
Casey Center, and it's going to
yeah,
be so amazing. And that was actually our first retreat, and
it was
the energy of that center is
2021.
just
Oh,
incredible
it's
because it's like
incredible.
the history of one of the most powerful psychics in the world lives in this location,
Who
and the fact
read, by
that
the way, the Akashic
yeah.
Records.
And the fact that it's in the United States and that it's going to be also so many other powerful Akashic record readers, like if you guys are looking to get to the next level of your psychic gifts and abilities, like this is going to like just shoot you right into the library.
I'm co-leading it with I'm co-leading it with one of my oldest girlfriends. Not that she's old, but we've been friends for like 40 years. One of my longest friendships. And she's also older than I am, so she's old. Ah, because I'm old. Anyway, she
We're
and I are going
all
to be leading
ancient
this.
here. We're all thousands and thousands and thousands of years
So
old.
the retreat is called the Akashic Essene Oracle Retreat of Golden Galactic something or other. Anyway, um, so if you feel any attachment or attraction to the Essene community, this retreat is for you. If you have a connection with the Akashic Records, this retreat is for you. If you have any interest in oracleship, learning how to channel, this retreat is for you. We're putting all this together in this one bundle. It's going to be beautiful.
Yes. And
Really,
and
really
but
beautiful.
yes, Veronica, we are actually planning on going to Mount Shasta in September.
Oh, the Essene Gospel of Peace. Listen, I literally go through this book every day with Jesus, along
And
with
by
this
the way, she
other.
was the one who was chosen.
Oh, so I go
She
through
already
these
knew that though. She
these two
already
books.
felt it. She already got the psychic pull.
I love that. So the Essene Gospel of Peace every
It
morning
was
and every
even before
evening.
you asked the question. I was like, she's gonna say yes.
Every morning and every evening, we go through the Essene Gospel of Peace, and I channel Mary Magdalene in the morning as we address the angels of Earthly Mother. And then in the evening, I channel Yeshua and we address the angels of the Heavenly Father. Like today is Friday, March 1st. So the angel of the morning for Friday is the angel of air. And the evening focus is the Heavenly Father because it begins Shabbat. And then we're reading this 3 times this year, the Essene Gospel of Peace. And it's it's such an extraordinary journey. Such an extraordinary journey. Okay, so who's going? Veronica?
Yeah, Veronica.
Okay, great. Greetings, Veronica. Please unmute yourself. So you all can follow along. What we're going to do is we're going to look at her numbers and we're going to look at what her lowest number is. And then we're going to work on that particular chakra to see if we can get movement on it. So, Veronica, my love, please tell me what your numbers were.
Okay. The first, wait, just really quick. I recorded myself reading the Seen Gospel of Peace, and then I was listening to it last night before bed, and it changed my life. I did like a 10-day water fast recently, and I've just been eating raw. Like, it is so beautiful.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
love reading it out loud in my own voice, just over and over. Anyway,
Yeah.
I wanted to just share that with you. And you
That's gorgeous. Well,
just
then you're part of our tribe. By the way, I have a group on Facebook that's called the Daily Essene Journey.
okay.
And please find that group and
Okay.
we will let you in. All right, Miss Veronica
And
Bliss.
I also want to just compliment you because I just love your vibes. Anyway,
Aw,
okay, so
thank you,
my
love.
my first number, uh, and you have to remember the ones you asked first because I just wrote the numbers down. The
All
first
right.
number
So
was
the first number was Claire Sentience for your heart.
okay, I got 60,
Okay, beautiful. The next number was clairvoyance for your eyes.
90,
Okay. The next was clairaudience for your ears.
50,
Okay. And then the next one was claircognizance for the crown.
90.
Okay. All right. So your lowest clair is your clairaudience. So let me tell you guys what happens before we go into this. There's a woman that I know, she's an extraordinary shaman, and she had all of her clairs open except for her eyes. So we went in to do this process with her, and what we found was that many, many lifetimes ago, she had been the medicine woman for an Indian tribe. And she lived so long that it was like 3 generations away from her peers. So the younger Indians, she said to them, listen, there's marauders coming. They're going to come and attack the village. Everybody needs to hide. And they were like, oh, old lady, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. So the day that she prophesied that this was going to happen, she went in a cave and she hid. And when she realized that it was safe, she came out and the village was destroyed. You know, embers, everything was on fire. And one of the people came up to her and they said, you did this, you made this happen. You didn't see it, you manifested it. And they took 2 burning pieces of wood that were like red hot like coals, and they put them on her eyes and they burnt her eyes out. And she then left and went off to the cave and allowed her body to release and died because she knew that she was of no use to the village anymore. So we went in and we healed this, and she completely recovered her clairvoyance. So that's what's available with this process. We're going to go in and we're going to see what's there for Veronica. But I just want you to know that that's the power of this. And then when we came back, so when we come back, we're going to measure your numbers on a scale of 0 to 1,000 and see where they go. I've done 0 to 10,000, 0 to 100,000, 0 to 500,000, 0 to 1,000,000, and we have people all over the place. I have one girl named Laura Lee who works with Alicia and myself, and her numbers got to 10,655. All 4 got to that level, and she couldn't go further until we broke through something, and now she's in the 100,000s. So you have governors, you have things that stop you from moving to certain levels based on agreements. You know, like when the Asim community broke up, and everybody kind of scattered. There was a lot that was known and understand that was learned in the temples that was forgotten on purpose. Does that make sense? All right. So we're going to go in with your clairaudience. And for clairaudience, we're going to go into the middle of your forehead. So I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take an inhale into the middle of your forehead. And on your exhale, I want you to move back about 2 inches. And there's an enormous cave that is known as the Cave of Brahman. And there is something that is blocking your clairaudience. There's like a sheen or a shield or a screen that's there. And I want you to tell me, what color is it?
Gray, like a dark stone.
Perfect. Okay, keep your eyes closed. I want you to tell me, what shape is it?
It's round like a sphere.
Okay,
Ball.
thank you. Okay, and how big is it?
It's
Show me.
it's larger than my body. That's how
Baby, keep your eyes closed. I need you to stay interior on this one.
Okay.
Okay, so it's about the size of your body, did you say?
It feels like it's almost as large as the height of the cave.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I want you to double the size of your body so that this object is not bigger than you.
Okay.
Okay, good. How much does it weigh?
Now it feels lighter.
I understand. As you go through this, it's going to begin to dissipate. How much does it weigh?
Like a pebble in my hand.
Okay, thank you. And what temperature is it?
It's warm.
Thank you. Okay. You said that it was made of stone. What is its purpose?
Safety, perhaps,
Thank you.
like to
Yes.
the entrance of the cave
Yeah.
to
Thank
lock
you.
things. Mhm.
Yep. It's most of these act as protection devices for each of us to protect us from harm that's come to us in another incarnation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, my love, take another inhale in, and I want you to tell me what are the feelings and emotions that are trapped inside of it.
There's like screaming and crying
Okay.
and fear and panic and
Yeah.
chaos.
Okay. So there's screaming. I want you to breathe into the screaming and just allow yourself to experience it. Hmm. There's crying. So just take a breath, and I want you to go into the energy of the crying and just allow yourself to experience it. This is all emotion that wasn't able to be felt at the time that this construct was created. And you said there was screaming, there was crying, there's fear. Is there fear there as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So allow yourself to breathe into and feel the fear. Okay, beautiful. What other feelings and emotions are trapped inside of it?
Uncertainty, doubt.
Uncertainty,
Mhm.
doubt. Thank you. I want you to take an inhale in. And on your exhale, I want you to breathe into the uncertainty. And notice that each time you contact one of these emotions, it begins to dissipate and get smaller. Okay. And the doubt, take an inhale in. And those of you that are empaths will be able to feel this as she's feeling it. Okay, gorgeous. All right, take another inhale in. What other feelings and emotions are trapped inside of it?
Now there's like a coldness.
Okay,
I also heard something. I heard like the ocean waves or something.
beautiful. Okay, beautiful. Good. So that's hearing that you didn't have before. Okay. Take another inhale in. What other feelings and emotions are trapped inside of it?
Grief.
Thank you. Take an inhale in and allow yourself to experience the grief. So there's almost like a scene from a movie that's going to begin to play out. I want you to move to the beginning of the incident. And I want you to move through it, telling me what it is that you hear and feel and see and experience as you go. Keep breathing. What happened?
Well, it just feels like there's a city or a town, and it was older times, just
Mhm.
by the clothing and the technology or whatever, the buildings and the streets.
Okay.
I feel that there's some sort of attack happening, like
Yes.
war, and there's an attack, and there's fire, and um, there's an attack on this village or town that I'm in. I think I'm
Okay.
a woman, and I'm pretty sure I'm just like running, and there's a lot of people around running and dying and losing their lives and tripping over each other. And there's like a seek of refuge or something.
Yes. My love, what is it that you're hearing that's painful for you to hear?
I think it's like the children, like
Yes.
children. Like
I know. Sweetheart, keep your eyes closed. Stay with this memory. I know. Breathe. What else are you hearing? Keep breathing. Keep letting the memory come. Good.
yeah, I think it was really hard to hear so many young children, crying and in pain.
Yes.
And I don't know if I had a baby or something, but I have
Mm.
this feeling like I was able to find a refuge in a cave or something like that. Maybe
Okay.
a baby with me, or there was a baby that I was holding.
Okay.
I don't know if it was mine or not.
Okay. Was it your baby?
Um, Probably was.
Just trust the same way you trusted with the numbers.
Yeah, I think it was my baby.
I want you to feel it rather than think it.
Well, I'm not sure now if,
Okay.
well, because it's possible that I like lost my baby or my family, and that I was just like imagining that I was holding my baby. I'm not really sure.
Okay. There was a decision that you made at that time. What decision did you make as a result of this incident?
I don't know. Maybe I just hid. I don't know. Maybe I was isolating myself.
Okay. Close your eyes.
Okay. I
Go
don't.
back in there. It's okay. You're doing great. There was a decision that you made about what it was that you were hearing that has had an impact on you ever since. What was it that you didn't want to hear?
There could have been some soldiers or some men or invaders that were mistreating the women around me.
Yes. And what was it that you didn't want to hear?
I think that um
Keep breathing.
Yeah, I think there was just kind of an enslavement or oppression on the women around me from the invaders.
Yeah. And it was hard to hear their cries.
Right.
Close your eyes.
But I'm not sure if I was a part of it, or I don't know if I was just near it. I'm not
Okay.
here.
Okay. This trauma continues to live inside of you. Okay. So I want you once again to go to the gray pebble. Are there any other feelings or emotions that are trapped inside of it?
Yes, there's some rage.
There you go. Yeah. So I want you to breathe into and allow yourself to feel the rage, almost dive into it. And it's going to be like a wave coming at you. But when you dive into it and you allow yourself to feel it, you come out the other side and there's complete peace. But allow yourself to feel the rage for what it was that they were doing. Beautiful. Beautiful. Any other feelings or emotions that are trapped inside of it?
Maybe helplessness.
Thank you. Take a breath into and allow yourself to experience the feelings of helplessness. Beautiful. Any other feelings or emotions that are trapped inside of it?
I don't know. Maybe it was more like the loss of motherhood or
Yes.
something. Like I
Yeah.
think I lost my children
Mhm.
and I lost my motherhood.
Thank you. And what was the feeling that came with that loss?
Depression.
Yeah. Yeah. So take a breath into your heart. Take a breath into that depression. Allow yourself to feel it. Beautiful. Any other feelings or emotions? Yeah. Let yourself feel that, baby. Let yourself cry. It was a huge loss you experienced.
And
Is it hard for you to feel and to hear yourself cry?
well, perhaps on camera it's a little different. I do cry a lot though. I don't usually have a problem crying.
Good. I understand. Everybody that's here loves you. I promise you, if you're here, if you've walked into this room, we've all traveled together. We are all so deeply interconnected. Nobody tripped and falled, and by accident they landed here, you know? So you are so surrounded by love.
Thank you. There was another emotion or sensation
Oh, good. Tell me what else.
and it was the desire for death. like a desire for death because
Yeah.
of the peace that would come with it, as
Yes. Yes, because being
a
alive was so painful.
yeah, as opposed to the torture and
Yeah. Sure.
enslavement captivity.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. My love, close your eyes.
Yeah.
Mm. You're in a past life, and it's just easier to access with your eyes closed. Are there any other feelings or emotions that are trapped inside of this?
Yes, there's a deep level of closeness and love between me and the other women
Beautiful.
as we support each other and comfort one another
Yeah.
and embrace each other in our darkness.
Yeah. The bond between women is extraordinary when we come together with love. Really, really incredible. Thank you. Any other feelings or emotions that are trapped inside of it?
I think I was probably connecting with my son. I think I had a son who was a boy. I don't know what age, maybe 6 or 7 or something, 5. And he had died, or I was separated from him. And I think that in my darkness, in my meditation, in my contemplation, in my dreams, I was connecting with the spirits of people across the ethers, and that one of them was my son that I had been separated from.
Beautiful. Hmm. Did you allow yourself to communicate with him?
I think he was more psychically open than I was. Perhaps he had died, and so he had more freedom to travel through the ethers than I.
Yeah.
But I do feel that I had an open communication with him that brought me a lot of love.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Thank you. Any other feelings or emotions trapped inside of it?
Yeah, there's a lot of fear because there was so much evil within the eyes of the men that they weren't even human anymore.
Okay. So breathe into the fear. It is energy, and it is meant to be experienced, and then it is meant to be released. Beautiful. Okay. Any other feelings or emotions trapped inside of this?
Yes, I feel that I was very connected to Gaia,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps because of where I was kept. I was in maybe a cave or something. It wasn't like concrete, it was like dirt and wall of earth. And
Okay.
there was something very grounding about that connection that I felt to the earth.
Okay.
Yeah, to
Beautiful.
help me feel supported and connected to spirit.
Thank you. Beautiful. Any other feelings or emotions trapped inside of it?
Just a lot of despair and crying for my freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know how long, but it just feels like really, really, really long time of that.
Yeah. There was a lot of grief to be experienced. Thank you. So breathe into it and allow yourself to experience it. Hmm. Thank you. Take another inhale in. Any other feelings or emotions trapped inside of it?
Yeah, there's probably like a woman that had a really strong spirit there that kept the hopes alive in some of the women, about escaping and like outsmarting the men or something like that. That was kind of funny. Like there was a lot of joking and a lot of lightheartedness amongst the women as well to make light of the situation.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I was one of these women, although I found it entertaining and funny.
Thank you. You know, it's interesting when these traumas occur, there's sometimes a lot of good feelings that go along with the bad feelings, you know? Okay. You're doing amazing. Take another inhale in, my love. Any other feelings or emotions that are trapped inside of it?
I'm feeling that it wasn't like I died there. I'm feeling that it did end eventually, that I did see the light of the day again, and that it was so bright and I was so relieved to be freed.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So I want you to take the energy that was trapped inside of your third eye, inside of your ajna. And I want you to take an inhale in, and with your exhale, I want you to surround it with a field of love. Like imagine putting God's golden light all the way around it. Sorry, in the middle of the forehead. Okay. Take an inhale in, and with your exhale, very gently and very easily, I want you to move all of that energy outside of your body. So it literally moves out about 3 feet in front of you, and it's no longer inside. Okay. And then take another inhale in. And on your exhale, I want you to turn the energy white. Turn it all white. Oh, yeah. All those feelings and all those emotions, you just turn it white. And as you turn it white, you're sending that energy right back to God. Beautiful. Now I want you to ask a fairy to come and lend you her fairy wand. And I want you to tap the place inside of your forehead chakra. And I want you to tap it, and the golden fairy dust comes out. And it heals the place where the pain was, where the trauma was stored within you. That golden fairy dust heals it. Gorgeous. Okay. Now take an inhale in. Go ahead and open your eyes. And we're going to go back through the numbers, except we're going to go up in scale. Okay. So this time we're going to do it on a scale from 0 to 10,000. You ready to write the numbers down? So once again, On a scale of 0 to 10,000, at what level is your clairsentience, your connection with your heart chakra, to be able to feel the presence of spirit beyond the physical body? Just write the first number that comes down. Beautiful. On a scale of 0 to 10,000, at what level is your clairvoyance, your ability to see spirit beyond the physical eyes through the ajna? Take another inhale in. On a scale of 0 to 10,000, at what level is your clairaudience, your ability to hear messages from spirit beyond the physical ears through your forehead chakra? And then finally, on a scale of 0 to 10,000, at what level is your claircognizance, your ability to receive messages from spirit directly through the crown chakra? Okay, so please give me those numbers.
Okay, 8,000. And then I felt really high on the ajna, so I put 11,000. And then on the last one, I put third, I put 8,000. And on the last one, I put 9,000.
Okay. So what happens is there's such a blowout because of the trauma that you just went in and healed. There's such a blowout that the numbers become extraordinary. So normally I would have done 0 to 100 again, or 0 to 1,000, but they said do it to 10,000. But you know, with your 11,000, it's just the numbers even higher. So what you will start to notice is that your clairs are greatly enhanced by the healing of this trauma. Does everyone understand what just happened? Gintani, you don't understand? No, it's okay. You can unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Okay.
Okay. I just lesson and I not clear much, so I'm new about this. I have 0 everything.
You have 0 everything. All right, that's not true, but that's okay. Thank you. All right, well, I thank you all so much for being here. This technique and 9 others are taught by me in my class that is called Transformational Alchemy Healing. I have the class starting on Wednesday, May 14th. It's going to run for 12 weeks. We're going to go into August, I believe, because there's a couple trips and retreats in the middle of all of that. But if you want to come join us for that journey, you will have the most extraordinary journey. I know Linda has done this class, Terry has done this class, Alicia has done this class, and more. The class is normally $3,333, but for anybody that attends these masterclasses, we offer a discount. So the class is $2,888, and we have payment plans that are available over 6 months to make it affordable.
Let me just tell you guys, this class literally takes you to the next level in the way that you experience the world, the way that you experience your relationships. It literally reconnects you to your divine essence and your connection to God.
Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary. And I have people that come out of the classes that need to practice. And I just got a message that came in while we were in the middle of this from a student that had practiced with somebody. He was just blown away. Anyway, I thank you all so much for being here. If there's any questions that you have, please feel free to reach out. I wish you all a gorgeous Shabbat for those of you
Stay
who celebrate.
connected.
Yeah.
Keep following us on Facebook. If you guys are part of the Facebook group, definitely make sure that if you're not part of it yet, make sure you join our Facebook group as well. I'm going to drop the link to that in the chat as well.
Great. Jenny said that she had a practice session with one of the students and it was beautiful. Yeah. Well, Thank you, John. It was a delight to have you here. It was really good to see you. John and I belong to an Essene community with J.M. Hammer, and have to go through that beautiful journey. So if I can ever be of assistance, please reach out. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
And we'll see you all really, really soon.
Yes. And join the Facebook group if you aren't part of it to find out about our next classes and other
Maria.
ways that you can work with us.
Thank you, love. And Maria, I loved having you here. It's great. Maria and I are in a mastermind together. Good to see
Oh,
you, my love.
amazing. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, thank you. And Veronica, good work, baby. Like that was something to go through. Really proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. We'll see you all again soon. Bye, everybody.
Yay. Bye, everyone.